NFL countdown. Can you believe it's week 16 and there are monster games all over the place, and we have cameras at so many of these big early window games, including the one in Carolina where the Bucs and the Panthers are playing for the first of what will be 2 meetings in 3 weeks. Today's winner will take control of the division, at least for the moment, because the two teams are tied in the NFC South. And here's the simplest scenario for both. Tampa needs to win 2 of their last 3. They play the Panthers twice and at the Dolphins in week 17. Carolina's chance to win the NFC South is down to 4% with a loss today. Their simplest path is just to win both games against Tampa. Bryce Young sat down with our Kimberly Martin before what is one of the biggest games of his career.
3 years ago, we're in this building, your rookie season, talking about the massive expectations that came along with being the #1 overall pick.
I'm super grateful for the organization, for them taking a chance on me and believing in me.
Young on the run, throws intercepted. Ladies and gentlemen, Jamarcus Russell wasn't even that bad.
Bryce Young is done in Carolina.
How have you grown in this role as quarterback for this franchise?
I'm a big believer that everything happens for a reason, and I feel like I've grown as a player, as a person, understanding this league, understanding what comes with this position. I have the utmost confidence in this team, this organization, this locker room. Still the same person, still with the same goal, and I'm grateful just to be able to have the opportunity to chase that week in and week out.
Hey, family on 3. 1, 2, 3, family.
One of those guys in the locker room is Andy Dalton. Here's, what is that relationship like now? How have you two gotten closer over the time that you guys have been together?
Yeah, since I got here, that's been my guy. I'm super grateful to have a vet like Andy. He was like day one. He's like, hey, I'm here to help. I'm here for anything you need. With all the success he's had, him to be able to have that approach, that meant a lot to me.
When you weren't playing, was the relationship, was it hard to maintain that?
We would joke about that during that time of like, we'd always be like, well, I'm glad we're friends. This would be pretty awkward if we weren't.
Bryce the snap. Touchdown, Carolina! Panthers walk it off in overtime in Atlanta.
From one Carolina Panther to the current Carolina Panther. I'm proud of you, bro. Keep rocking and rolling.
When we sat here 3 years ago, what was the biggest concern you had at that point in time? And what's your biggest concern in this moment?
I'm sure I didn't have any at that time, to be honest with you. I don't have any now. And that doesn't come from a place of arrogance. There's gonna be ups and downs in life. There's gonna be ups and downs in this journey, but I'm trying to be as consistent in the stuff that I know and feel is right, and I trust that's gonna take me where I need to be.
Jeff Darlington is in Carolina for us in the game today. Jeff, how are both these teams approaching what is a critical divisional game?
Well, Greeny, this game is such a conundrum. We're talking about two teams that are fighting for a divisional title in a home playoff game, while also simultaneously both trying to figure out exactly who they are. Now, I spoke with Panthers GM Dan Morgan, and he said this is a young team that's trying to figure out consistency on a week-to-week basis. The Bucs, meanwhile, a much more complicated situation. They started the season so hot, and yet since their Week 9 bye, they are 1-5. That frustration boiled over for Todd Bowles in an expletive-laden rant last week, dropping F-bombs one after another. I'm told that he had a similar message in the locker room. It has been well received throughout this week, though. This team understands that the defense needs to be better, but Baker Mayfield did say that nobody in this building is pointing fingers at each other. He believes that they have a full offensive weaponry. They're going to have all the receivers out there. They're going to have Bucky Irving out there, and he said if we need to score more than 28 points to put the game out of reach, we should be able to do that. So if they want a shootout today, we'll certainly watch one, Greeny.
All right, so many different angles on this game, Jeff. Thank you very much. And Randy, I know you put together some tape. The rookie wide receiver, Emeka Egbuka, was the talk of the entire league in the early part of the season, but now it's his counterpart, Teteroa McMillan, for Carolina, who is really playing great.
AKA T-Mac. One thing about him, Greeny, you do the draft, coming out the draft, all they talked about was his big catch radius. And ladies and gentlemen, you talking about a rookie showing up for his organization, for his young quarterback. I want you to look at how this man snags the ball out of the air, bro. Look at the hands and eye coordination from this young wide receiver. But this second one right here, I want you to look at him running this dig, and I want you to look how he twerks his body up in the air and being able to stick his hands and catch that ball clean right there. So everything that you heard Coach Todd Bowles say to his team, we felt it all the way up here, all the way in New York. So it's a big game for both teams, but I really think if the Carolina Panthers can get this game here, it can really change the trajectory of how we look at this franchise for the future.
Let's actually play that again. For those who don't remember it, Todd Bowles, who is generally pretty mild-mannered, was quite animated after his team lost what was a terrible game a week ago Thursday against Atlanta. This was what he said.
It's inexcusable. You don't make excuses. You gotta care enough where the shit hurts. You gotta care enough where the shit hurts. It gotta mean something to you. It's more than a job. It's your livelihood.
Yeah, and when I heard Jeff Darlington say it was well received in the locker room, that wouldn't be well received in my locker room. I mean, that's personal right there. And there's a lot of things like we've all been on the sideline, and coaches have said, hey, whatever is said out there, don't take it personally.
Right.
But we know some things you take personally. And to get Todd Bowles, we all know Todd Bowles, to get him in a place where I can't get these guys to play, where he has to say that, I think you have got to see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers come out with their skin on fire, as you like to say, Rex. I mean, popping out their skin, whatever it may be, because my coach just said, I don't care. And it's something that veteran players for the Bucs should take personally.
This is a team that's used to winning the division, used to being in control. They were in control until that Week 9 bye. And all of a sudden, 1-5 since that time? And Todd Bowles had it up to here. And to me, I think he treats his guys like men. There's no question about it. But every now and then, you got to let it happen.
Yep.
You got to let it eat. And I love the message he sent.
Yeah.
And that message also he puts towards himself, his staff, and the team.
Yeah.
That it's got to matter. And the sit back, you got it right in front of you. This is going to be a great example of it. Look, Carolina is no slouch when they play at home. I can assure you that. But they got to show up. This is a team that prided themselves on having one of the best run defenses in football, a great defensive-minded coach in Todd Bowles. Where has that been? And to me, today, they better show up because Rico Dowdle, all right, they will lead no Dowdle, and Chuba Hubbard will rotate in there. And to me, this is going to be it. But it's going to come down to this. Do you have it in here? Do you really have the championship pedigree in here?
Yeah, not just veterans, but rookies too. Ibuka, you said he started on fire, and now it seems like no, McMillan, the rookie on the other side, is the one that's on fire because Ibuka, 117 targets and 58 receptions. They're forcing him the ball, but that's a 49% rate. I mean, it should be 70%. Puka Nacua, Diggs in New England, you're 70, 75%. I mean, Ibuka has hit the rookie wall. And Todd Bowles is talking to rookies, to veterans, all alike, like, fellas, let's go. This season's still here.
A lot of people had a hand in that. And listen, I love that Todd Bowles did this. This is normally a very reserved guy, obviously very respectful. But, I mean, Baker Mayfield with the interception late in that game, right? They had no business losing. Then they give up a conversion on 3rd and 28, 2 big chunk plays, right? Obviously, hopefully they'll learn from it. You saw Mike Evans after the game, too, obviously pretty furious. But both these teams are so funny. I mean, they're both in a very similar boat. We've seen them beat phenomenal football teams. Carolina Panthers just beat the Rams. They went into Green Bay, beat the Packers, and then they lose to the Saints last week, right? The Bucs are the same way. We saw them beat the Seahawks and the Niners in consecutive weeks. Oh, and then they dropped to the Falcons and the Saints, right? Like, which team is going to show up? Both these teams have had so many ups and downs. But that kid right there, Bryce Young, I think, has quietly really developed. Listen, he got benched last year. You heard Kmart ask him about it. But there's been steady development. And listen, this hasn't really been a great situation for a #1 overall pick, right? He's on his second coach. There's been a lot of turnover there. But I've been really impressed with his resolve. I know he's not a big guy, Rex. I know that. But he's got a unique skill set. He's incredibly elusive. He's accurate. And when he gets confident, this guy can really throw the football.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Rex. It's on you. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say this. Look, you guys know I don't like small quarterbacks. I mean, I absolutely hate them because this is such a size-speed league. But this guy's not playing small this year compared to his rookie year. I was like, he's got no chance.
Right.
But he's not playing that way. He is athletic. All right?
Ooh, we getting some love from Rex on Bryce Young. Let's go.
Not too much.
Let's go, Rex. Come on, give it to him.
Let's pump the brakes on it. But I'm seeing a more poise. It has got more poise.
All right.
And you know what helps? Having that big wideout you've been talking about, Randy, 6'5" wideout. But I see a different guy. and especially at home. I think this team gets a lot braver at home, especially on defense, and that could be a problem for Baker Mayfield and company if he's going to start throwing balls on the cover.
You know, real quick, we all saw, you know, the last time the Tampa Bay Bucs was on the field, how they lost the game. But not going to take, you know, anything, you know, lightly for the Carolina Panthers. They laid an egg last week in New Orleans, how they lost that game. So all of this talk about how Todd Bowles, the soundbite, bringing his, having his team ready to play. Hey, Coach Canales, y'all lost a tough one in New Orleans last week. So hopefully at home in front of the hometown fans, that's the city I live in, Alex. Had them boys ready to rock and roll. I can't wait to see this one, though.
If Carolina had won that game last week, this would be a hat and T-shirt game for them. But by dropping it, they leave themselves in a position where they will probably have to beat Tampa twice to win the division. All right, Dog of the Week time, and that means Aaron Dolan. It means our friends at DraftKings Sportsbook. And, you know, dogs come in all different kinds of sizes and shapes. We got hot dogs out there. Nothing beats hot dogs at the ball game. Everybody getting theirs ready as part of a huge week here. Once again, our Dogs of the Week are brought to you by our friends at DraftKings Sportsbook. And our best friend is Aaron Dolan, who has the first of the picks for us. What are we looking at here today, Aaron?
So I'm going to go with the Browns plus 10.5. And this is a little bit of an ugly pick. I understand that. But it's hard to back the Bills in this spot when they're 1-9 against the spread in their last 10 games as double-digit favorites. On top of that, over the last 2 weeks, they had come-from-behind wins. The defense allowed an average of 33 points. And I know the real gamble here, of course, is this offense for the Browns. Ken Shador, Sanders look any what better after that abysmal performance. But the defense for the Browns is really good, which is why I think they can keep it within the number. I'll take the 10.5 points, Greeny.
All right, so she's starting with Cleveland. Rex, where do you go?
Man, I'm looking at the Steelers game, seven and a hook right here. I mean, give me a break. The Lions, like, how can they be favored by over a touchdown? The Lions, has anybody seen their defense play the last month? I haven't. Nobody has. They're giving up 460 yards a game, 32 points a game. I mean, I know the Lions are going to score in Pittsburgh, but my gosh, I'll take the 7.5.
Man, Aaron, they didn't get the memo. I thought you was going to go with me so we can color coordinate with the Jets. Man, that's me. Hey, Rex, 6 in the hook. I'm going to roll with 6 in the hook, man, at the Saints. That performance last week, I think the Jets recovered.
Did you see that team play last week?
Yeah, against the Jacksonville Jags. Hopefully
they come to that football team. Oh, my goodness.
They fired their defensive coordinator after the game. Alex.
I don't love any of these dogs, but for me, I'm going with the Browns as well. Listen, I think they have the capability, especially at home in Cleveland, to play with a lot of pride on defense. I'm hoping the Bills also, maybe obviously a big win last week against the Patriots, maybe a little letdown this week, and I think the Browns cover.
I like the Browns too. I mean, I heard Aaron pick it, so it felt great. There's Shador right there on screen. I mean, I said it last week too. It's just a continuation of his improvement. I'm eager to watch it. I think that Myles Garrett is going to be a huge factor. The defensive rusher there breaks the sack record today.
I'd like to see if he throws an interception, him actually try to chase and make a tackle would be interesting this week.
Speaking of which,
let everybody else make tackles.
I'm going to take the Dolphins.
Quarterbacks making tackles.
Dolphins make a quarterback change. Let's see what Quinn Ewers has. You mentioned it. There was a moment in time when we thought Quinn Ewers was going to be a first-round draft pick. Obviously didn't go that way, but they make the change. The Bengals are coming off scoring 0 points last week. So you give me 4 and the hook, as someone taught that